Make no mistake, swattings are attempted murder. They don't always, and they rarely do, but the intention is so that police will kill the individuals. What they do is these people are calling in fake hostage situations where the cops believe they must storm in and save the life of individuals who are being threatened. There are several stories, but one in particular where a man was swatted over an argument about a video game. The police outside his home, bullhorn saying, "Come out of your house." He walked out and they shot and killed him. This is what they're trying to do to these personalities. I don't think we've seen the last of it.
I don't think we've seen the last of it. I mean, if you look at the temperature in the U.S., political temperature, clearly there's a lot of anger on the left, and they're lashing out in whatever way they can, whether it be swatting or they're, setting fire to Teslas and Tesla dealerships, shooting up Tesla dealerships, attempts on the president's life. The idea that this is just business as usual in the United States is a problem, and we need the FBI and the DOJ to come down on these people and throw the absolute book at them. I'm confident that the federal government can find out who these people are that are perpetrating these crimes. They should be picked up, and they should all be charged with terrorism, because that's the intent. It's political terrorism. There's no question about it. They're not swatting these people out of personal animus because, the guy didn't like the way he mowed his lawn or something. It was based on politics, and it's all aimed at the right. These people should be rounded up and put in jail for a long, long time.
I feel like that's unlikely to happen, though, because if you remember during Trump's first term, especially in the latter half, Antifa was incredibly active and yet did not face the consequences that you're hoping for.
I agree with you, and I hope that that's not the case.
Trump has a totally different administration this time. He's got way better people around him. We've already seen the first month of his presidency was probably the best month of any presidency in my lifetime. But is this ever going to go away? No, it's not, because for leftists, they believe that violence is resistance. They believe this is revolution. They believe they're justified in doing it. This is not new. This has gone on all over the world since the dawn of man. This is the same as the Bolsheviks in 1917 or the Red Guard in 1966. These people are communists, and they feel justified in doing their actions, so they're just looking for any excuse, and if they don't get it, they'll create one themselves.
I do think most of them are some form of communist, but I fear something worse. I think many of them are nihilists.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's more than just anger, and it's more than just political extremism. They're feeling very resentful and disempowered right now. And when the right feels that way, instead, we think about things and debate things and try our best to talk about our beliefs when we're not being censored, and we try to organize and do things in a politically sanctioned way. But as we can see, them, on the other hand, turn to violence.
Well, this is what the left will do. They'll get together an NGO because they're evil, and they'll get together some NGOs and some professors, and they'll say, okay, I got an idea. Let's create a group that we'll call the hard right, and we'll find 200 moderate conservatives, list them there. Then we'll find 10 psychopaths of disparate ideology, call them right-wing for some reason, and then claim we analyzed a group of over 300 right-wingers and found a high rate of violence and extremism. Then they release the report and say, this proves it. Then liberals go on YouTube and go on TV and say, look at the report that was just released by the Intelligence Institute. That proves it. And then you actually go in and you're like, I don't know. I think the guy who had a Star of David on his left cheek and a swastika on the right cheek was probably insane when he committed that act. And then what they do is they come out and they say he was right wing because he did X. Okay, the left at the highest level in politics have defended these people, have defended the violence. When a bunch of leftists set fire to a police station, where was the committee? Where was the George Floyd riot committee to go and investigate all of the riots across the country? Nowhere. In fact, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden helped fundraise for the people who got arrested in these crimes throughout these riots. Meanwhile, not a single person on the right has celebrated or defended any of the violence. In fact, when the McMichaels and the Ahmaud Arbery case got convicted, most conservatives came out and said, see, this proves we aren't racist. The media is still going to lie. They're still going to defend this. And it will always be a fact for anybody who's paying attention and knows what's going on. The left is violent. The right, and I mean the right as in regular Americans, they're not.
I still would like to see the administration do something. We do have a completely different DOJ. Well, I don't know about completely different. The people at the top are different in the DOJ. And the FBI is largely a different group of people at least people in the top. So, I mean, it's the only thing that I can really hope for, is that there'll actually be some kind of actual prosecution. Look at the way the 70s were, right? We were looking at it yesterday. There was I think it was in the first, from 71 to 72, there was 2,500 bombings in the U.S. And then throughout the rest of the 70s, there were, hundreds of bombings. So, I don't want to see that become the norm here now. I don't want to see that at all. So the only thing that we're left with is hoping the government does something about it.
Yeah, well, the bureaucracy is still dominated by Democrats. It's going to take time. 93% of the people who lived in Washington, D.C. voted for Kamala Harris. These are all the people running these three-letter agencies. So it takes some time to clean that up. It's going to take years. And we don't need just one term of Trump. We need 8 years of J.D. Vance to follow.
Yeah.
But I think with the guys at the top now leading all these different agencies, I think Trump's made great appointments and they will start cracking down on some of this. But they're all just individuals and one person can only do so much. So it's going to take time.
Well, I feel we're between a rock and a hard place. We want Cash, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino. Now, with all due respect to Cash and Pam, if there's anybody I trust to get the job done at the FBI, it's going to be Dan Bongino. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.